Will all please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight on this beautiful summer night. Can I get a roll call, Antoinette, please?
Mr. Cook?
Here.
Mr. D'Andriano?
Here.
Mr. Rogan?
Here.
Ms. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Williams?
Here. Somebody like to make a motion on the reports?
I'd like to make a motion to accept the Code of Compliance report for June, Code of Compliance report, Code of Enforcement for June, Dog Control Officer for June, and the Putnam Lake Fire Department second quarter of 2018. So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion on the minutes?
to make a motion that we approve the town board meeting minutes of June 13th, 2018. So moved.
Right, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Somebody like to audit the bills?
I'd like to make a motion that the town board approve abstract number 12 dated June 29th, 2018 in the amount of $210,506.89. So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, first on my agenda is the standard workday for elected officials. Whenever we have an elected official that has been elected or re-elected, we need to adopt a standard workday resolution for the New York State Retirement Fund. I have actually two resolutions here. They're not our typical resolutions. The first one is for Mary Smith, establishing a standard workday of 6 hours. So be it resolved, the town of Patterson hereby establishes the following standard workday for these titles and will report the officials to the New York State local retirement system based on the activity of record.
Is that
A record of
Day or
activities.
No.
That's the standard number of hours in a day. That's what gets established based on the log that Mary has provided us. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the second resolution is for Town Justice Michael Caruso, Receiver of Taxes Mary Delanoy, and Town Board Member Peter D'Andriano. Each has established a standard workday. Question?
I know, Sean was questioning it, but I don't know how that averaged out.
So, and I apologize, I didn't voice a.
There's the formula.
So if you, let's say that you do 2 hours in an evening
Right.
throughout the week, how does that equate? Does that equate out to I'm just questioning the number. It didn't seem accurate to me. And I'm not doubting you, I'm doubting the
No,
number.
it doesn't sound right to me either with the law
Listen,
that
it
I
doesn't make
provided.
any sense
So
to
it's
me
a-
as well, but the state
Yeah.
controller establishes a formula by which town board members or elected officials, Mary Delanoy, will give us a log on the number of hours that they have worked in a week over a 3-month period. We take that log and we apply the controller's formula to
Okay.
come up with the standard workday.
Okay.
And also the record of activities results, which equates to an average of the number of hours based on a formula I never would have come up with.
Well, and let's be clear, this doesn't equate, and I think this is probably where some confusion comes. This doesn't equate to someone saying, okay, therefore Mary or any one of us being town board members get credited 6 hours a day
Right.
for every day, because
No.
clearly we don't do that. Not only that, we
Right.
are already full-time into the system. You
Right.
can't earn more than full-time, so the numbers in that regard are irrelevant. But it's still the requirement for the state, so and that's important to be.
It's not hour per hour, it's the way the
Correct.
formula works.
Okay.
All right. So be it resolved, Town of Patterson hereby establishes the following standard work day for the following titles and report the officials to the New York State and local retirement system based on their record of activities, which we also have to attach. Town Justice, 6 hours. Receiver of Taxes, 6 hours. Town Board Member Peter D'Andriano, 6 hours. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next on my agenda is a maintenance contract with Voice of America. They've been taking care of our telephone system here at Town Hall since we were over in the old Town Hall. So many, many years. It's quite an antiquated system at this point, but it still functions well. So I'd like to make a motion, we approve the annual maintenance contract with Voice of America in the amount of $1,584. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mary, you're up.
Oh, I'm up. Okay. The first item on my agenda is the Harvey property lead agency notice. The town would like to declare itself as the lead agency of the Harvey property located at 1142 Route 311 in Patterson. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the town board to declare the intent to circulate for lead agency for the purchase of the Harvey property. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, the second item on my agenda is tree removal for the storm damage that we had. The first non-bid procurement request form, we took three quotes, one from Osorio, one from Bill Henry, and one from Nick's Tree Service, and I'd like to make a motion for the lowest bidder for Osorio Tree Service for $1,500 to do tree removal at the Patterson Hamlet wastewater treatment plant in the amount not to be more than $1,500. So moved.
Second.
Just a point of discussion, the reason that, clarification, the reason that Osorio's is considered the low bidder is their price includes free stump grinding,
Yes.
whereas the second bidder did not, even though they both had the same price. Is that
Yes.
what you were gonna say?
Yeah, and that was on that first quote, which they're, because I wouldn't want somebody who missed out on a quote to say, hey, they awarded $1,500, my price was less than that. That's,
Right.
yeah, their price was actually $1,000, but we always put in a little bit of a leeway.
Yes, correct. Thank you.
Which one are we doing?
Well, she did the.
I did the first
which-
one.
Club Court?
No, I did the
All right.
wastewater. The second one is located at Club Court.
Oh.
The lowest bidder was also
Wait,
Osorio.
Mary,
I'm sorry.
can you back up? I'm sorry. You did a quote for $1,500, but that was, okay. The first procurement, the low bidder was $1,000 for Club Court, and they requested not to exceed $1,500.
Well,
You see the amount?
I don't know that one was the first or the second.
Oh.
You did the wastewater treatment plant
I
first.
did that, yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so then we want to be clear that Dennis was requesting an amount more than the lowest bidder because he was adding in just in case something. So just to be clear, that Dennis knows that we approved the exact amount of the quote, right? Are you seeing that? She
Yes, no,
approved
I,
$1,500, but
listen,
it's-
no, I
Well,
see.
that was the bill.
And we've done that on quite a few where you've asked for more than what was the low bidder.
Yes, I understand, but if we
For-
have a price of $1,500, I expect them to do it for 15. So
Okay,
I
so
wasn't
I'm gonna
so
hold you to that in the
worried,
future.
I wasn't worried so much
All
about,
right. Sorry for the
proving the
interruption.
extra amount.
So what do we approve?
So I'm sorry, so we were the 1,500 was on Club
I said not
Court.
to exceed more than 1,500. That was the bill.
Got it.
Are we good with that?
We're good.
I am good with
Okay.
that.
Yes, thank
Very
you.
good. Thank you. Okay.
It's not you, Mary, it's us, don't worry.
I know it's not me. It's never Mary. Okay, the second tree removal from storm damage is located at Club Court. The lowest bidder, once again, is Osorio Tree Service for $1,000, who is including the stump grinding, and the other two quotes that we got are not including the stump grinding. So I'd like to motion to approve $1,000 to Osorio Tree Service for tree removal from storm damage at Club Court, not to exceed more than $1,000. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Rich, can you have a conversation with Dennis, though, about filling these out and putting in about the amounts?
I will have a conversation, listen, I saw this, I picked this up late today, unfortunately. I want to have a conversation with him about if he's going to ask for more than what the highest bid is, he needs to tell us why.
Yeah, more than the lowest, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I know with some of the repairs, like somebody gives us a repair to do electrical work and there's some unknowns built within, and they say, well, we're gonna charge $2,000, but you know that it's $2,000 and it might be a little more. We've done some approvals not to exceed.
And we've had to go back and redo on whether it's justification.
Okay,
Absolutely.
thank you.
All right, Peter, You're up.
Okay, first item I have is a request from our assessor to replace a malfunctioning file cabinet. It's a 42-inch wide 5-drawer with rollout shelf with a lock. So I'd like to make a motion to approve to replace the file cabinet for $910. So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Next, I have Putnam Lake Park District requests. The first request, we have a memo, email from Hank Earl. Hi, Rich, can you schedule a meeting with the architects so the advisory board and I can discuss ideas about the castle and get input from them? It would be great if they could meet with us at our next work session meeting on July 19th or whenever they are available. Can you please let me know what day works for them? So I attended the Park Advisory Board meeting last Thursday, and we had talked about this a little bit, and then we had some discussion with the supervisors. So what we are waiting for the Park Advisory Board is a kind of a proposal or a list or idea of what your plan would be. And I know we talked about at the meeting, you guys, the Park Advisory Board already kind of expressed to us kind of their ideas and what they want to do with it. But I think it'd be beneficial, as we talked, if we had something in writing that we can give the architect prior to the architect meeting with the advisory board. This way, we are paying the architect by the hour, I believe.
Yes.
So this way the architect can kind of look over the ideas put forward by the Park Advisory Board, start putting some stuff together, look at what she has as far as plans and whatnot with what she has, and then by the time she can actually meet with the Park Advisory Board, maybe she has some ideas and some things in place, and I think that the meeting would probably go smoother and shorter for more productive. So Pat, if you can pass that along, just if you guys, doesn't have to be an elaborate proposal, just kind of just some ideas down on paper, what you guys envision the use of the castle. Anybody else on anything?
Well said.
Oh, I think that hit it.
Okay, next is another memo, another request to the town board regarding the Waterford Drive parking regulations. On June 13, 2018, the Patterson Town Board approved the change to Chapter 150 of the Patterson Town Code restricting parking on the western side of Waterford Drive during the period from May 1st to September 30th. So to ensure the compliance with the change and safety of beach patrons, we request the following. So the Park Advisory Board is requesting install 3 no parking May 1st to September 30th signs on the western side of Waterford Drive. Grant licenses, permits to residents of number 2 through 10 Waterford Drive to park on lakeside right-of-way from May 1st to September 30th. Inform residents of number 12 through 18 Waterford Drive that parking for their vehicles is available in the new parking area south of the beach fence, and install temporary speed bumps on Waterford Drive to ensure 50-mile-per-hour limit is obeyed. So how do you want to address this?
So I have been talking with with Russ Goff, our highway superintendent, about all these issues. We've been talking right along. Pat, if you could convey back, the law that we put in place didn't specify no parking between May 1st and September 30th, as I recall. It was no parking at any time. We were changing the drive lane from the east side of the road or the center lane in the road to from the west side to the east side and putting parking on the west side. So we will be installing no parking signs for the east side of the road. I will also then, yes, notify go ahead.
If my compass is correct, the east side of the road is the lake side of the road.
Can I
Because
say it
if you go
backwards
over
again?
on the other side of the lake, there's Connecticut, and then you go further,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
the Atlantic Ocean.
So there's gonna be no parking
On the west side,
We're moving the parking to the east side. Did I say it backwards again?
right,
I do that
correct. Now you said
All
it
right.
correctly, yes.
Okay, so, yes, but it's not seasonal.
Originally it was, and one of the reasons was when Mr. Goff and I spoke, he said that he would prefer that parking during the winter be on the west side of the road because of snow removal, would be easier for the plows to push over toward the beach area. Am I correct, Russ?
Well, there was one or two driveways, maybe one driveway.
Uh-huh.
The guy would just get all the snow, and we could change direction of the plow up to that driveway and push it all to the east.
The problem I have is it's gonna start confusing people about when they can park and where they can park.
Okay.
People
Right.
develop habits,
Okay.
and I'd rather just keep them all on the other side, which we're making public parking, so they're not gonna need a license agreement.
Not for there, but the people on, from 2 to 10, which does not face any parking area. It faces the right-of-way alongside the lake, which is, as you know from Chapter 116, no parking allowed except for use of the beach, and definitely no overnight parking. So we were requesting that all parking during the summer months when it's being used, the beach is being used, that all parking shift over
Yep.
to the eastern side of Waterford.
Yep, and I agree with you.
Uh-huh.
And that's the direction we're going. All I'm suggesting is, being as we've created parking there, which wasn't contemplated when we did Chapter 116, and it's
Right.
now public parking,
Mm-hmm.
that, and Don, weigh in if you think we need a licensing agreement for all these people, but if we're making it public parking, I think they're entitled to park there, and they don't need a licensing agreement.
They're
Well-
entitled to, but they're also not entitled to exclusive use of spots.
Well, there is the new parking, which the highway department,
Yeah.
the 10 spaces, and that goes more or less from number 12 up to the beach fence. The houses that go from Haviland Drive to that point, are you saying they would then have to walk down to the new parking spaces and park their cars there? They can't park it across the street from?
No, I'm saying they can park across the street, anywhere there is public parking across the street.
But
One
it's
of the
not
reasons-
public parking, that's the problem.
Yes.
It's parkland right-of-way, it's the town's right-of-way, but it abuts the parkland, and it's a violation of 116. Am I correct, Don?
Well, not if we striped it all out and made parking over in that area.
Oh, you're actually saying make on-road parking
Well, I thought that's what we were doing out there, is we were pushing all the parking, we were restriping it to push all the parking on the east side of the road.
Okay, I've got to draw a picture then, because
Okay?
Where-
My problem with doing a licensing agreement, as you know, they end up being incredibly complicated, and then we get into the whole issue of the insurance. I know people that this board has approved the license agreement for that we still don't have a signed agreement a year later. So I'm trying to get away from, yes,
Yeah.
doing the licensing agreement, because it just doesn't seem to be working out. So the fact that we're declaring that side of the road as public parking, I think, is sufficient.
but they would be parking on the road bed, not on the right-of-way.
They would be parking where it's striped out to park.
Right now, there is no striping there. You
Well,
would, you would
then
have to be,
they would-
at that point, you'd have to be putting in parallel parking stripes.
Again, they're gonna be allowed to park on the east side of the road
On the road bed.
where it's striped out. So,
It's not striped.
well, then they can't park there, or we'll have to stripe it, one or the other.
Okay, all right. Okay,
Okay. All right, last issue while you're standing there are the speed bumps.
yes, I was going to say, that's the big one. Pete indicated that might be a legal problem or a
Usually it's
code
a,
violation problem or something.
usually it's a real problem putting in speed bumps. Pete's absolutely right. So, and if I remember, we haven't tried to do this in many years, but I believe we have to get permission from the county highway superintendent as well as the town highway superintendent, who generally, both gentlemen do not prefer to see speed bumps.
This would be seasonal again. These would be the
understand.
temporary type. Okay, yeah, we were just trying to,
Slow the
there
traffic.
are, unfortunately, there are not only the beach patrons, but there are some residents that allow their children to play in the road. So, you know, we're doubly fearful that something might happen.
Can we send a letter to the sheriff requesting selective enforcement in that area? during the summertime?
I don't think I'd ever want to send a letter asking for selective enforcement, but
Enforcement
additional
in there.
enforcement.
Well, that's what it's called, selective enforcement.
I certainly can send a letter to the
It
sheriff.
may
asking
sound
for-
different than it actually is.
Okay.
If he could step up enforcement in that.
Anything would be welcome, thank you. Is that it?
Schedule.
They have selective enforcement grants, actually.
Well,
so that's-
and remind me later, I'll tell you about the letter that went around to some of the towns in Westchester from the Civil Liberties Union.
Mr. Supervisor, is that it?
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Last thing I have here from Plum Lake is they have their assessment report, different roads in storm, assessment from the May 15th, 2018 storm damage. So everyone has a copy of that. Do we,
You want us to start chasing prices for this, Pat? Is that what I'm doing with this? Because I'm going to go solicit prices for doing the repairs?
No, it was more that we wanted to make sure that, if there was anything on the right-of-way, that you were going to verify whether with Russ, whether any of those damaged trees were still on the right-of-way. Because if they are, then we would eliminate that from our RFQ.
Okay, so you want that answer first?
Correct.
Okay.
And this way, then we can send out I mean, you're welcome to do it if you'd like to in your spare time, but we usually do these RFQs. I mean,
Well, I've already got Dennis chasing bids.
well, it's just that I would have to take Dennis around and show him and so forth, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so easier if I just do it.
I'll talk with Russ, we'll come up with a list of things that he might be agreeable to do because they're in the road right of way. We talked about a dead tree over on the east side of the lake as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right, that I think I included on that list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at 354, Mr. Monroe's, across from Mr. Monroe's house?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
that's on that list
Okay.
now.
All right, Bert.
that is all I have.
Charles?
Next, we have a request from the Putnam Lake seniors for a trip to the Culinary Institute up, I guess it's Hyde Park area. And the trip is, date of the trip is September 20th, 2018. And the net cost of the budget is $1,880, with the seniors making up the rest through a charge of $40 per person. So I'll make a motion that the town board approve the Putnam Lake seniors' request for the visit to the Culinary Institute, September 20th, in an amount not to exceed $1,880. So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have recreation requests. Saturday, July 21st, is a free admission All-American concert at the Recreation Center featuring the Southern Duchess Concert Band, patriotic pop and Broadway tunes. Next, we have another free band concert put on by the 42nd Division Army National Guard Band on Thursday, August 2nd, 2018, 7 p.m. Program of, am I saying this right? Martial music and popular tunes. So we have two great concerts coming up. 7 o'clock Saturday, July 21st at the Rec Center, free. And Thursday, August 2nd at the Rec Center, 7 o'clock, that's also free. We have a list here from our Recreation Director concerning the following programs. Patterson Recreation Youth Soccer Club is back for the fall. 6-week beginner program is designed to teach children ages 3 to 6 basic soccer skills, teamwork, and good sportsmanship. The soccer group meets on Saturday mornings starting September 15th. Tumble Time introduces children to the basic skills and fundamentals of gymnastics and tumbling in a fun and safe environment. Classes will be offered on Tuesdays at the rec center. Group 1 is for children ages 3 to 5, Group 2 for ages 6 to 8. Patterson Recreation's preschool program is accepting registrations for the upcoming school year. Our program will encourage your child to explore, think, create, and problem solve while actively engaging in full fun-filled learning. And then, of course, we have our very popular fall indoor flag football program is back for another season. This program is designed to teach and improve throwing, catching, flag grabbing, and other football skills. Games are played on Sundays at the rec center. We have divisions for children in kindergarten through high school. We are still accepting registrations for our youth basketball camp, multi-activity camp, pre-K camp. Those camps are here now going on in the summer. So for more information on all of these activities, please visit the Patterson Rec website, pattersonrec.org, and or call 878-7200 for more information. Thank you. That's it.
Sean?
Okay, first up, we have a letter to Supervisor Williams and the rest of the town board from the Honorable Neil Sullivan, who is our chairperson for Legislative District 9. It brings up the topic of the Taxi and Limousine Commission and the interest in the county legislature, rules enactment, and intergovernmental relations committee exploring the possibility and benefits of a countywide taxi and limousine commission. This came up back in 2015. Councilman Cook and DeAndriano were on the board at that time, as well as myself. And with Supervisor Griffin, we had drafted a response. At that time, there was not much information available. They reached out and basically asked, we're interested in possibly looking at the county taking on this task. It's not currently done by the county. There was some public input that we received at that time, back in 2015. And Supervisor Griffin sent a memo back to the legislature. At that time, I believe it was Tony Adnizio, saying that the town would be interested in being part of that discussion. And we never heard back from them. Maybe they moved on or had discussions and it kind of went by the wayside. So they're, reinitiating this conversation, and I think the sentiment expressed by the board at that time was not that we were in opposition, but that we would like to get more information on how the legislature envisioned the commission being set up. And a great example, and Rich actually shared this earlier, would be, say for example, that the county took on the commission and then one day said, oh, by the way, we've licensed 10 taxi cabs and they're all going to be parked on Front Street by the train station. Obviously, I think the town would want to be part of the, certainly the evolution of how this takes shape. And so I open it for discussion, but I think that it would be appropriate to send either an updated letter just basically reiterating what was said back in 2015, because I think the sentiment is still the same, that the town wants to be involved and a party to the discussion. So any conversation, discussion?
No, listen, I agree. We had sent I think a fairly straightforward letter back to the county saying, let's have a conversation, never received a response. So I think the appropriate response at this point is to remind them that we're still waiting from their response from 2015 and would love to have, an open dialogue with them, with the county.
Great.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Great.
Change the date, the addressee, the signature, send it off.
Okay. Next up, we have two requests from our chair of the Veterans Memorial Park chairman of the Veterans Memorial Park Board, requesting to hire 2 lifeguards. They are short on lifeguards right now. Pat, how are you guys doing over in Pot Lake? You good on lifeguards? You have enough lifeguards? I'm sorry, I think I caught you off guard.
Is this a a humorous question, or are you sincere?
No, I'm sincere.
We are desperate and have been desperate, and the town is very aware
No,
that
the
we
reason
are
I
so,
say it is
we
I-
have
I
been
am very
closing,
aware.
we have been closing our beaches down. We have not, through the whole month of July, we don't have lifeguards to man one of our beaches.
It was not.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
No,
I
Lake Carmel seems to have a
I am
very
so-
good supply of lifeguards, and I'm surprised because their beaches haven't been open. But I
Oh.
think what they do is they pay them, they're not, even though the beaches aren't open, they're paying them to be on staff because they know if they don't, they'll lose them. So, I think that's.
Good grief, yes, I'm sorry. I
No,
just
that's
assumed
okay.
you all knew
Your
what
face
desperate
went white, so
straits we
yeah.
were in. I mean, I thought you were
Yeah.
joking.
No, lifeguards across the county are hard to come by, and I don't understand it because it's a very good paying job for the work that
Well,
they do.
1025 and 1075 for your third year, according to people that are in the know, when McDonald's was paying 1042, is not a great paying job. And these kids are kind of under, a certain amount of pressure and strain. They have rules to follow. They're sitting out there in this god-awful heat that we've been having, especially last week.
But we do have umbrellas out there for them.
Oh,
do we? Yes.
Yes, of
Okay.
course. Yes, the umbrellas reduce the temperature by at least, how many degrees?
5 maybe.
Still humid
Yes,
and hot.
right.
So I
Yeah,
know
so
we
it's
mentioned
only 90 under the umbrellas.
I know that
No,
we
I'm
mentioned
saying,
this last meeting,
Yeah.
that if there are anybody out there that has children that don't have a job, get them certified as a lifeguard because there's still jobs open. And this is
Right.
something we would love to rehire from year to year because they build up the knowledge of the people that use the beaches, the uniqueness of our beaches. And boy, considering some of the jobs that I did when I was 16 and 17, 18 years old, I should have been a lifeguard because I was doing construction work and was sweating a lot more than they are. So,
it's the times, Sean.
I know.
I'm
I
sorry.
know.
It's not.
So
it's-
anyway, and I apologize for putting you on the spot. I was just.
No,
asking if you had
you
enough
just
guards.
blew my mind because
Yeah.
I assumed you all
So
knew.
we're hiring too, and there's possibility that, there's always the possibility, since these are town employees, that there could be a sharing.
And just FYI, there is a company called Jeff Ellis. The local office is out of Poughkeepsie, and they've made arrangements with the town and with the Park District to hold a certification the last week in July. It'd be the 23rd, 24th, 25th, I think. So
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Tuesday. Well, he's now changed it to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. He didn't contact you? Sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, this is somebody that Councilman Dandriano brought to us because we were in such desperate straits over in Putnam Lake that we're looking to have a late season certification so that we might have some lifeguards available at least for the end of the season. So,
How
That's
do we
something we're gonna-
advertise in the paper? We got freebie papers, let's,
I will tell you this, I've talked to people at the county who have asked me for lifeguards. I've talked to people at Brewster Elks who have asked me for lifeguards. There is a shortage of lifeguards across the board. The kids don't want to do it anymore.
It's not as glamorous, I guess, as it used to be a lifeguard.
But I think, I know I've had some conversations with Supervisor Williams and the Park Advisory Board, and I think we really have to look at our program and see if we can restructure it in any way and see if there's any way we can entice people to come and be lifeguards. So I think we're gonna be doing that, right?
Yeah, no, we've had some good conversations so far about restructuring the whole program, possibly picking up the cost of certification. We'll pay for the certification in exchange for them working through the summer for, the park boards.
Reimburse it at the end of the summer, like a bonus
Yeah.
check at the end of the summer
Yes.
before they
Yeah.
go back to
Yeah.
school.
They do a certain amount of
Yeah.
hours for us.
So, anyway, I'm sorry that I got
Sidetracked.
so much, Pat, I apologize, but, so I'll make a motion to hire Dylan Maglio and Lucas Hughes, who both have the appropriate level of certification, and approve them to be hired at the approved hourly rate per the 2018 budget. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Other business? Any board member have any other business?
Just simply to state that I have been hearing that, Pat, that Putnam Lake looks beautiful, and as you know, it doesn't look that way in most of the other lakes in the county. So, right at this point in time, right, whatever we're doing, is working for the moment, so, very nice.
All right, bit of a public service announcement, just a reminder to everybody. Next Wednesday, the town board will be holding a special informational meeting over in Putnam Lake at the VFW, 7 o'clock, to talk about the state's harmful algae bloom, or HAB, action plan, which lays out a number of different proposals for improving the quality of Putnam Lake. And we're doing this just to get a dialogue going, but also because there may be some funding available, and I need to know which way to go when seeking funding for the lake.
I spoke today with Supervisor Fleming from Kent. They had their meeting last night on the same subject to talk about the governor's initiative, and had 6 people show up. So I hope we do better than that over in Putnam Lake.
Get the word out.
Yeah, and Bruce, before you ask, the amount of time it was gonna take to get the cards printed, get them to the, get them over to the person who was gonna send it, and the cost wasn't gonna happen. So I did look into it.
We should have blast email lists.
We've done that. We're putting it up on the sign, if it's not already up on the sign. Okay.
You know what the overarching theme was from the other meeting I mentioned was that people want this issue to go away, but they don't really care how it's gonna happen. They just want us as elected people and you as park chair people to make it go away because they pay a lot of taxes, and I get that sentiment. But part of being informed as a community is knowing what's on the table and what's being considered. So I hope that people will consider coming out to this meeting and having a voice in at least knowing what the plan is moving forward. Because other than that, you know, you can't really complain about what you get when you don't show up and voice an opinion. And so,
Anyone else? All right, let's move to public recognition. Any member of the public wish to be recognized?
Thank you.
Karen Vieira Powers, representing Patterson Library. We have a couple of programs going on that I'd like to talk about just briefly. We are going to have our annual summer concert in the Patterson Library Park, right behind the building, on Thursday, July 19th at 6 p.m. The Bottoms Up Dixieland band, jazz band, will be playing tunes from 1920s New Orleans and songs that people can sing along with. So you can bring your picnic and your family and have a nice evening out. If it rains, we'll have this particular event at Patterson Recreation Center. The second thing I wanted to talk about is an August program. On August 23rd, we're going to have what we call party dancing. And it's 3 lessons in 3 different types of line dancing. Usually what we do is we put a wood platform down in our parking lot for the dancing. And there is an entertainment group which teaches everybody how to do these 3 types of line dancing. That's on Thursday. No, I'm sorry. That's in August. Yeah, party dancing Thursday, August 23rd at 6 p.m. Probably in the parking lot. If it rains, it will take place in the Patterson Recreation Center. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. You up for it, Charlie? Do some line
we
dancing.
can sponsor them.
I'll go to the sing-along of the Dixieland band.
Anyone else?
Oh, thank you.
Get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for coming.